and restore of cytochrome B5. Yes, where have you heard this cytochrome B5? In electron transport chain, isn't it? So it is an enzyme present in the electron transport chain. And what is the role of electron transport chain? Yes, at the end of the electron transport chain, huge amount of ATPs are being generated, isn't it? So basically these drugs will increase the number of acetylcholine receptor. Apart from this, it will increases the number of adenosine triphosphate by 2 mechanism, by increasing this enzyme and by increasing cytochrome B5 enzyme as well. Okay, so in total you can say it these drugs selectively improves the cerebral integrative activities. Okay, and how it increases? By enhancing the learning and memory. Okay, so uses are, it increases or enhances learning and memory. Apart from this, it facilitation of synapse transmission and inter-hemisphere information transfer. Okay, basically it facilitates synaptic transmission and inter-hemisphere information transfer. Okay, apart from this, it also increases tonic cortical control on the subcortical areas. Tonic cortical control on the subcortical areas. So these all are the uses of your drug paracetam. Okay, now the next drug coming under this class of miscellaneous is paritinol. Okay, so we'll see about paritinol. So our drug number 2 is paritinol, also known as pyrithoxine. Okay, paritinol and or pyrithoxine. So basically this drug have got two molecules of pyrithoxine. Okay, here one pyrithoxine, here one pyrithoxine, and these two molecules of pyrithoxine are joined together by a disulfide bridge. Okay, so basically what is the role of this drug? The role of this drug is it increases the availability of food to the brain. Now what is the food of the brain? Yes, obviously your glucose. So it increases the transportation of glucose across the blood brain barrier. Okay, increases glucose transport across the blood brain barrier, and thereby it improves the regional blood flow. Okay, improves regional blood flow. Okay, now uses. So when we should use this drug? Okay, so this drug is mainly used after any person has undergone some kind of head injury or cerebrovascular accidents. Okay, in sequence with sequelae with cerebrovascular injury, or you can say your head injury. Okay, no, basically after some kind of head injury accidents which causes damage to your no the cranium, so the person will start producing some kind of problem of amnesia, or some kind of memory problem will be there. So at that time we can give paritinol. Okay, Now apart from this, even small children's kids, they are with development disorders of CNS or delayed milestone, for them also we can give this drug. Okay, so infants and children's with developmental disorders of the CNS, with developmental disorders of CNS, for them also we can give pyretinol. See, basically what happens from kid, when any child is growing with his height, with his bones, even brain also grows. Okay, but sometimes, when brain is not getting sufficient food, that is your glucose, or it is not getting sufficient blood supply, it won't grow. Okay, so because of which there will be developmental disorder of the CNS in some kids. So basically this drug, by providing glucose and blood supply, it will provide sufficient raw materials for the growth of your brain. Okay, apart from this, these agents are also being used for concentration and memory defects. Okay, concentration and memory defects. Okay, so this is about your drug pyretinol. Now the next drug in this miscellaneous group is your dihydroergotoxin. The third drug is dihydroergotoxin. So basically it is a semi-synthetic ergot alkaloid. Okay, its main action is mainly acted by adrenergic blocking property. Okay, it produces adrenergic blockade. Next, these drugs are claimed to increase cerebral blood flow selectively. Okay, claimed to increase cerebral blood flow selectively. Okay, this selectively is very much important. Okay, by producing adrenergic blockage, so these drugs, what they are doing, they are providing vasodilation, and selectively the vasodilation is to your cerebral hemisphere, because of which it increases the blood flow. Okay, so vasodilation to the brain. Okay, not to any other part of the body. Okay, so you cannot find adrenergic blockade side effects to a larger extent with this kind of drug. Okay, now the next drug is pyribydyl. The fourth drug of the miscellaneous class is your pyribydyl or pyribydyl. Okay, now the important point regarding pyribydyl is it is a dopaminergic agonistic drug. Okay, it is dopamine agonist. Okay, whenever I hear dopamine agonist, means some kind of role it might be having in the treatment of Parkinsonism, isn't it? Parkinsonism. Okay, so apart from increasing the cognitive function, it can also produce a mild extent in the treatment of Parkinson's disease. Apart from this, it is claimed to improve memory, concentration, vigilance, giddiness, and tinnitus in elders. Okay, so claimed to improve problems such as memory, concentration, vigilance, giddiness, and tinnitus in elderly. Okay, so this is about your pyribydyl. Now our last drug is ginkgo biloba. Okay, the important thing about ginkgo biloba is it is the dried extract of the plant mixture of ginkgo flavin glycoside. Okay, basically this compound, this is the active ingredient of this plant which will produce the action, and the main action is platelet activating factor antagonist, or you can say puff antagonist. So what happens when it is antagonizing the action of platelet activating factor? Yes, so it mainly inhibits cerebral thrombosis and infarcts. It inhibits cerebral thrombosis. Thrombosis means a blood clot in the blood vessel. Cerebral thrombosis and infarcts. Okay, so these are mainly used in the treatment of multi-infarct dementia. In the treatment of MID, that is multi-infarct dementia, this ginkgo biloba can be used. Okay, so this is about your nootropic drugs. I hope you people understood the topic. Thank you.